everyone, I'm your astrologer Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here is your daily forecast for the day of Wednesday, May 30th, 2018. Now before I get started, I just want to let you know that my June 2018 webinar is now available if you would like to view the recording to learn more about what's going on this month. This month I think is definitely going to be a little bit of a slow unfolding that's going to come to us about our future. As we figure out what's going on in our life, we may have to be very patient and listen to what's going on inside us, but I think if we're quiet enough, still enough, and wait long enough without getting in our own way, there perhaps can be some answers that may come to us this month about some things that are weighing on our minds. All right. So that's what I've got there. Again, if you want to view the recording of that webinar where I talk more about that, you can see it down below at the link in my description box. Now for your horoscope, what we've got today is the moon here in Sagittarius. When the moon's in Sagittarius, it brings our attention to doing something new, traveling, adventuring, exploring. I also do like to think that Sagittarius is a very happy and optimistic kind of sign too, so trying to find more of the passion in our life and look on the bright side that can come here with this moon. Okay, this moon in Sagittarius is definitely a little interesting because it just came off a full moon. Saturn has been in Sagittarius in the same spot for a few years now, even though it's not currently there. So there comes like a lot of history with this moon in Sagittarius that we're dealing with, that I talked a lot about yesterday, just trying to put in its proper place. Okay, now yesterday into today, yesterday night, this moon in Sagittarius made a square over to Neptune and Pisces, and what that could have brought up at the nighttime, perhaps there was some confusion maybe about what's going on inside you, about what you feel, maybe even some confusion about your past, about what the past was for, what it all means, considering that Sagittarius is also the sign of our beliefs and how we find meaning in life. So there could be some confusion about that as well. Maybe we feel a little bit uncomfortable about our Saturn and Sagittarius journey that we've been working out for the past 2.5 years, being taken out of our comfort zone. Again, worry, fear, doubt about something new that we're trying to do, whether or not it has worked. So I think there's just a lot of that coming in, a lot of stuff maybe going on spiritually, internally at the nighttime in regards to some new thing we've been doing, something we're trying to do to find, to put our life in a better spot in some way. That may be weighing on us, and really just needing yesterday and into today maybe to take some time, as always with Neptune, to meditate, to journal, to rest, so that you can let some of the spiritual insights come to you instead of bringing the cloud of confusion. Okay, so that's what I'll recommend there, and that, to be honest, is the only thing that's happening today. And it didn't even happen today, this happened late last night. So we've got this moon in Sagittarius, which is not going to do a thing. Not going to do a thing. It might make a semi-square, I think, to what? Aquarius. So patience is probably the best advice I can give you for today. Maybe if you don't know quite where your life is going, what all of this means of your Saturn Sagittarius journey from the past 2.5 years of your life, if you're trying to figure out how to bring more optimism back in your life, how to do something new and exciting and it's just not working out, or if you're confused about it, or if the things that you're doing today aren't going anywhere, you aren't making the progress in the way that you want, I really do think the best advice I can probably give you today is to just be patient as everything starts to come together. Yeah, you know, yeah. I know today's gonna be like a really weird day with the moon not doing much, so I don't know, we could feel sleepy, we could not get much work done, maybe there's a lot going on in the mind that we're trying to work out that may be hard for us to get answers and insights from, and I think just really needing to be patient and to not worry if some of the big stuff isn't falling into place in the way that you want yet. Okay. Yeah, I know, just super interesting. I typically do like a moon in Sagittarius. Maybe it's on my Gemini planets. So I do like it, and I think yesterday, this full moon, like, I actually kind of really liked in the morning time. But then as the day went on, just kind of, I don't know, started feeling like a little bit like empty, which is like kind of weird because there are a lot of things, I mean, in my chart specifically, that brings like new beginnings coming, that a lot of things, yeah, that I think, and I like to think, I mean, at least based on my own chart, you know, I mean, I don't want to like make this all about me, but I do see lots of like positive things, like new chapters in a big way coming, and I'm like want to get excited about it, but there's something like, I don't know, that this full moon, especially as the day has moved on, since obviously I'm filming this the day of the full moon, yeah, that's got me feeling like a little bit sad and a little bit empty, and I'm like, who would have thought that like this new beginning that I feel like is coming. And I think we all will get a reset, especially when Jupiter moves into Sagittarius, the North Node moves into Cancer towards the end of the year, and I'm like, who knew that like a new beginning like feels so much like an ending. I mean, it is a full moon, full moons are endings, but yeah, it's just kind of interesting to see. And I've seen a lot of people in life lately, just in like my own experience from people that that I talk to or that I know, like also just ending big chapters in their life, ending some journey, like leaving their job, moving, having like big things that they've been working on for a really long time now kind of like are happening or aren't happening, and then they're having to make a change. And I don't know, I always get really excited when changes like this happen. You know, being a Gemini, I'm like, yeah, something new and different, like for me to think about. But I don't know, it just feels like a little sad and lonely this time around. And I think a big part of it too is with like Mars on the South Node as well. Like it's like the one chapter is ending, but maybe that's what it is. It's like the new chapter hasn't begun yet. And I think for the next few months in between June, July, and August, it's really going to be like this weird in between like transition period where like we're done with the past 2.5 years of Saturn Sagittarius, but we're not quite on the new journey yet. And I think that's going to be the biggest challenge a lot this month, is like how to handle the in-between space, you know. And it's, yeah, it's so hard, especially in my own chart. I feel like there are so many good things that I like see in October that I've like been waiting for like months and years, I mean years even, like to happen, with like a bunch of really like once in a lifetime transits happening a lot of my chart. And I'm just like, man, I have to wait until October. Like I have to wait until October and maybe even later than that, November, for all of this stuff to happen. And even after that, you know, things won't start to fall into place for me until probably next February, March, April, May. July. By next July things might be better, but it's like, man, you know, I gotta wait that long for some of these things I've already been waiting a really long time for, you know. And so I think that's just going to be the challenge of today, especially with the moon not doing anything, and that's going to come in for the next few months, is how do we just be patient? How do we be still? How do we be silent when we don't have all the information or the answers that we need, as we clear out the old to make the way for the future? And we could feel like we have nothing to grasp. You know, there's nothing in our hands right now. The things that we have in our hands right now are potentials. They're ideas about our future, about how things could be. And its ideas are nice, you know, with this Gemini, this Sun, Mars trine and air signs. But it's like at the end of the day, what do we have to hold for it? What do we have to show for it? And Uranus and Taurus too makes our money and our reality kind of slip away. Not in a Neptune sense, but shockingly, you know, takes things away from us in some ways. And so, yeah, I just think that, I don't know, I don't even know if I know how to handle that. It's just like the in-between. How do we deal with the in-between, where we're out of one world but we're not quite in the other one yet? That has yet to come to us, which I think major things will start to happen in October when Uranus squares the nodes. The nodes move into Cancer, Jupiter into Sagittarius. And so, yeah, I wish I had more to like offer you now, but I'm just trying to figure it out myself. Like, what am I going to do during this time? I've been trying to, yeah, I think the best that I can come up with at this moment, and I tried to mention a lot in my live video that I did on Facebook, the best thing I can think of during this time for me is like, I'm gonna try to just get better in my health, to like take everything that I've tried to do since the beginning of this year and just make it better. I think that's what I'm gonna try to use the time for, to work with my health, to be healthier, to hopefully get a little bit more of a routine, even though my routine is probably gonna go to hell again in October. So, you know, with things coming up there, and then all this stuff I do now is gonna, you know, so it's just like, man, I should appreciate the opportunity for what it is, which is like a chance for us to get our breath, to work things out intuitively, spiritually, mentally. But it's not easy when there are things that you want that maybe you have to wait on, which is kind of this time that we're moving into, you know. Yeah. I know I told you I am gonna try to like move to, I know I'm moving next year regardless, it's just where I'm moving to, that's the question. If I don't know where I'm moving home, I'll be moving back to Atlanta, since that's where I'm from originally, but I know that I can't stay here, at least not in this apartment. So yeah, it's just trying to get a lot of things together, but not quite knowing where all the pieces are gonna land, and I don't know. If you have any tips on how to handle that, that would be great. Things going on behind the scenes. What we have, Mercury just entered Gemini in a sextile with Chiron. So again, lots of thinking, lots of talking. Us thinking is helpful because, you know, you can think about different options, learn different things, and then that can help you figure out more information about yourself, who you are, who you want to be, how you want to do things, even if we can't do some of the things that we want right now. So there's that. We also do have the Sun in a trine with Mars. So again, lots of thinking about our future, where our life is going, that we may have to work some of the details out in the next few months, even if we don't have anything that much in reality happening, or in a practical sense. The Sun also in a sextile with the North Node, so thinking being good to help you be happy, communicating, discussing your options. You know, it's just a lot of working with the mental stuff. I think that's going to go on. Mars in a square with Uranus, so definitely the frustration, the impatience. Mars on the South Node, wanting things to happen. Things aren't happening. The more we try to make things happen, the less they're going to work out with this kind of placement. So, I don't know. Just feeling a little weird at the moment. Venus also in a trine with Jupiter and a trine with Neptune. They're in a trine with each other. So I don't know. This is the best thing I think happening in the chart right now, and really the newest thing that I haven't really talked about much as well. Saying the emotional stuff really is just this chart. It's all in the mind and in the emotions, and not so much in reality yet. We're still trying to work with our reality and figure out what that's going to be like, and we're going to have to be patient. But I think before things start to fall back into place towards the end of the year, there's a lot of thinking we have to do, and a lot of emotional processing, spiritually, intuitively, overcoming the past, getting right with ourselves, figuring out what we really want that needs to go on. And I think that's what's coming in this month. That we're going to be working with. It's necessary, you know, to get right with yourself emotionally. I think some positive things can come from it, but we may be feeling, I'm especially feeling, maybe I'll speak for myself, feeling a little bit impatient with Mars in the South Node, that things aren't quite the way I want them to be outwardly. Yeah. Part of me is like, why do I need to figure things out inside? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Let's get the show on the road. But I guess everything happens in its own divine timing, and we're going to learn that the next few months. So yeah, that's what we've got. Your card for the day is the Two of Swords. Upright. It's a card of choices that you have to make, perhaps. Maybe this is what we're thinking about. What choices we really want, what things in our life we want to move towards or move away from that really resonate with us emotionally, with the water behind her, possibly. Maybe with this card too, we're blinding ourselves to certain things, because the woman in this card is blindfolded. So maybe there are certain choices we have to make that we don't want to make. Maybe there are certain options and things that we need to consider right now at this point in our life that are, at this point in the year, that we don't want to consider. We don't want to see what's right in front of us. Maybe we know the answer. We know what needs to be done right now, but we don't want to do it. That could come in, and I think this card is saying, so what I'm feeling at this moment is sometimes you have to do the things you don't want to do. You have to make the hard decisions. You have to make the choice that you don't want to make. Not because there's anything that's wrong with you, but because sometimes we're asked to do things that maybe we don't want to do. And maybe it's hard for us to see the reason why God, I prefer the word God, but maybe some of you prefer the word, the universe. You know, I think There are reasons why God asks us to do things and why God has things planned in a certain way, in a certain time. And I think in the months like this one, June, that we're coming into in the next few months, we're going to get like a real big crash course here on God's timing. And on how our ways are not God's ways, are not the ways of the universe. Sometimes the universe has different plans in store for us. And, I think that's what we're going to learn. And if that means we have to do some things we don't want to do, if we have to sacrifice some of our own needs for the needs of the greater good, not only for the other people in our lives, but of our greater good, of our greater evolution, then I think that's what that card is saying. I don't want to get religious. I'm a Gemini, so I can be and I cannot be. I don't really hold on to my beliefs that tightly. Maybe I wish I did with my 9th house North Node. But, it's kind of hard not to talk about God, not to talk about fate, not to talk about the universe when you get the nodes involved, which we have a lot of things going on with the nodes the next month or so, because the nodes to me definitely do indicate fate, things out of our control sometimes, things that we're destined to experience. And I think that's what's going on, especially with not too much happening in the earth signs, and some of the things that are happening in the earth signs may be a little challenging. It really is just trying to wait on God, wait on the God inside you, your own spirit, to slowly give you the answers, to whisper them to you, that we're going to have to be patient and to wait for this month, okay? Yeah. So that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.